Hi everybody, welcome to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton, that salute was Chad. So was that a one like this?
It's like, remember salute your shorts?
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Lauren's here too. Lauren
hey
Coleman.
everybody, how you doing today on this terrific Tuesday? How are y'all feeling?
I'm good. For a Tuesday, I think we're okay.
And the weather, I just shared something on Twitter that City of Greensboro took these beautiful pictures of downtown today because it's just so beautiful. I mean, you look outside, there's some clouds, but it's just, it's a nice day.
Well, and temperatures have been okay. I mean, I know we're not where we're supposed to be, but we'll get there. There's a chance we could see some upper 70s close to 80 again next week, so we'll see.
All righty, more weather in just a second, but we're going to hop into some news. The big story we're following this afternoon is related to a jail escape just north of here. And now there's a triad tie. The man on the left is Alder Marin Sotelo. He escaped a jail yesterday in Virginia. You'll remember he's accused in the shooting death of a Wake County Sheriff's deputy. Now we've learned he might be in a car just purchased from a dealership in High Point. Investigators say his sister bought a 2000 red Mustang for him and the other man who escaped. This afternoon, we learned police arrested the sister. She's now in federal custody. Police consider the two men armed and dangerous. Call 911 if you see them.
Rockingham County deputies are also looking for someone considered armed and dangerous. They say they're looking for Douglas Scholes related to a domestic assault and kidnapping. Scholes was last seen in Eden driving a dark blue newer Ford F-150.
Winston-Salem police say a woman in her own apartment was hit by a stray bullet. We will not be saying the name of the victim. This is something our station has talked about and is done on a case-by-case basis. It happened around 10 last night at the Brandomere Apartments. Investigators believe a stray bullet hit the 22-year-old woman in the leg. She is in stable condition. Police have not shared any information about a suspect. If you know anything about this, contact Crime Stoppers.
Tonight at 6:30, Greensboro groups and church leaders are coming together to try to find solutions to gun violence. The group called City Help of the Triad is hosting the meeting, and it's open to anyone. It starts at 6:30 at Bethany Fellowship Church in Greensboro.
In Raleigh, lawmakers are discussing several bills. A new state bill would allow people to carry a concealed handgun without a permit. It would also make it optional for people to go through the permit process as long as they are legally allowed to possess a gun. And it would allow 18-year-olds to carry a concealed weapon. The bill is still in committee after being referred for more discussion. The House and Senate have a set deadline for Thursday for bills to be considered viable for the remainder of the legislative session.
Greensboro City Council is expected to take a public stand tonight against a bill in Raleigh. It's related to House Bill 470, which would create a civil service board that would basically allow fired city employees to appeal that decision to a board. It's currently in the state Senate. Council members who oppose the bill argue it would strip certain controls from departments already in place. Winston-Salem City Council proposed a similar resolution. Mayor Alan Joines wrote a letter to the General Assembly writing, "One of the most concerning aspects of the bill is the potential for decisions of the city manager to be replaced by decisions of the board."
We are learning about the passing of a longtime Triad public servant. Former state lawmaker and Guilford County Commissioner Steve Arnold died Friday at the age of 61. Arnold graduated from Andrews High School in High Point, and later he got a degree from UNC Greensboro. He served as an elected official for 25 years, working in the High Point City Council, General Assembly, and the Guilford County Board of Commissioners. The funeral service starts in a little under an hour from now in High Point at Hayworth Wesleyan Church.
Elkin City schools were back open today after a tornado touched down there on Friday. Even so, the district couldn't get school buses into some of the hardest hit areas this morning. The National Weather Service confirmed the tornado was an EF0 with winds of 85 miles per hour. It was on the ground for just about 100 yards, basically the size of a football field. The storm also caused damage in other counties, leading to thousands of power outages.
Well, nothing like that in our forecast in the short term. In fact, we have a stretch of rain-free days and temperatures are looking better and better. The only issue, as we talked about for the last couple of days, winds. Winds will probably stay up even through Wednesday. It's after that that we'll see things calm down just a little bit. Yesterday, Wednesday was in question with winds. We thought it'd be breezy, but it looks like it'll be flat out windy tomorrow again with some wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour. 67 in Greensboro right now, a little bit warmer than yesterday and fairly comfortable really, even though that's below our normal in the mid 70s. High Point 69, Winston-Salem at 68. We see 63 in Mount Airy. So pretty much everybody low to mid 60s, unless you go to the higher elevations where Boone's at 51 degrees and Jefferson and Ashe County in the upper 40s. Sustained winds so far 10 to 15, just about what we were calling for, but those gusts are up there since midnight last night. We've had a 32-mile-per-hour wind gust in Greensboro, a 34-mile-per-hour wind gust in 24 in Winston-Salem. But Galax and Boone, look at Boone, almost a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust, very, very strong, and that will be the case heading into tomorrow again. So let's go with 42, that low tonight. It'll be a little bit cooler because we will see a cold front approach our region, but mostly clear and chilly. Then tomorrow, some morning sun, but then giving way to a couple of clouds by afternoon, and we'll see those clouds going a little bit on the increase, but a high temperature cooler than today at 62 degrees. For the most part, we do see a couple of showers in the higher elevations, but for us, I think we'll remain pretty much rain-free. There is about a 10% chance, technically, of a sprinkle as that one little disturbance kind of skips by our region. Here's what we see in the 7-day, though. It's a 20% chance there for your Wednesday, that 10 to 20% probably in the afternoon hours, but 62. And then it's nice Thursday, 69, partly cloudy. Friday, a 20% chance, and 72, comfortable then. Saturday, cooler as the front moves by. It's a 40% chance of rain, and 65. Sunday, and really through that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday looks excellent. Partly cloudy, low 70s Sunday, mid 70s Monday, and 80 degrees on Tuesday.
As Eric just showed us, we are having some nice weather right now in the Triad, but in Illinois, a freak dust storm led to multiple accidents. 6 people died from the accidents on Interstate 55. Witnesses say drivers couldn't see when the dust kicked up yesterday. More than 30 other people were hurt, and some of the injuries are described as life-threatening. One driver stuck in the storm says he is lucky he wasn't injured.
I went on this side of the trailer of the truck, and I'm glad I did because there's 2 red cars. They creamed that back of that truck. So if I hadn't moved, I would have been creamed myself. And then I pulled up further and got out. I just went ahead and went from vehicle to vehicle trying to find people.
The injured victims around him range in the age from 2 years old to 80 years old. Now, that is just terrifying. We can barely see anything visible on the screen here. Eric, how common is something like this to happen?
So, you know, when you go out to the southwestern parts of the United States, it's not that uncommon, but this was Illinois, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, not that common for that neck of the woods. It's very unusual for us, but it's just based on where you are and how dry that climate gets and what type of soil you have. So we put a graphic together. The first 2 bullet points you're going to see here are basically just talking about dust storms in general. It happens when winds kick up around dust around an area, usually after a dry period there. You can see it. That's an actual image on the left there of dust storm coming over a building.
It almost looks like smoke.
Yes, it does,
Yeah.
and it almost looks like a thunderstorm moving your way in some ways, but this is nothing but dust and wind. The warning happens when visibility is less than a quarter of a mile. If you think about that in our terms, it's kind of like when we have a fog advisory or a dense fog warning. It's when visibility is cut to a quarter of a mile. So it's kind of their version of what we see in a fog situation.
I would imagine that, you know, it only can really happen certain times of the year because, you know, Illinois, that part of Illinois is very flat, a lot of crops, and there are no crops growing, so there's just really just dust fields everywhere right
And that's
now.
why it's kind of we call them almost like microclimates, only in smaller areas that would have those patches of nothing, right, where the dust can kick up. But if you go to the desert Southwest, they'll see it a lot more
The
quickly than we will.
haboobs.
Yes, exactly right.
I wonder those places where this happens pretty often, if they have measures in place, like what do you do on the interstate when something like that does happen?
Pulling over was the right thing, but
Yeah.
for those people, if you can't see at all, visibility is cut down to 0, you could be in trouble.
Probably like a hailstorm, right, where you
Yeah.
just have to pull over and
wait it
just
out.
wait it out.
That's exactly right.
Good stuff.
All right, we'll take a break. We're coming right back.
When we think of arthritis, we often think of elderly adults. However, there are forms that impact young adults. This Arthritis Awareness Month, a Greensboro woman is sharing her story after she was diagnosed with an autoimmune arthritis in her early 20s. Heidi Waltz enjoys living an active lifestyle. As a wife and mother of two, she's always on the move.
I was previously a teacher, and now I'm kind of getting into health and wellness coaching and do photography on the side.
Her interest in wellness sparked more than 20 years ago after she began experiencing lower back pain while in college.
I was in such severe pain that I could barely walk. At one point, I considered getting a wheelchair. It was that bad. I had trouble getting in and out of my car.
After several hospital visits and trips to the ER, doctors diagnosed her with ankylosing spondylitis, a form of arthritis that causes inflammation in the joints and ligaments of the spine.
To be in college and to be diagnosed with a chronic disease is pretty terrifying. I have to live with this the rest of my life. I'm going to have to figure out ways to cope.
Dr. John Tipton is a physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist. Unlike most forms of arthritis, he says symptoms of ankylosing spondylitis typically begin in early adulthood. If left untreated, it can cause severe disability.
Mostly related to a gene called HLA-B27. It usually happens before age 40. Some people complain a lot about like back pain or neck pain. It happens, like very subtly, but it comes on pretty quick.
He says it can be treated through exercise, medication, and healthy lifestyle changes, something Waltz can attest to.
I was way more active. I was going to boot camps. I was working out, changing my diet. I noticed a huge difference. And I didn't have to go back on the medication for about 3 years after my second pregnancy.
If you ever get diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, be positive, okay? Because you can live a good, long, and healthy life.
Reports show roughly 3.2 million adults in the U.S. have this form of arthritis. Dr. Tipton recommends patients seek medical attention if they have lower back pain that persists or improves with exercise and worsens with rest. Just want to put out there, this is not to cause alarm, but just another example of why it's important to know your body. Listen to your body. If you have some pain there and it's going on for a couple months at a time, don't just try to push through it. Go see a doctor because it could be something much more than a little bit of back pain.
My mother had arthritis in her finger joints, and I'm starting to notice when I wake up, I have to do this for a while before it because it hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm next in line. Here we go.
I'm afraid, so I would love to have our Verify team do like a knuckle cracking.
You were just cracking your knuckles
you just
during
did
the
it
story.
during the story.
They were pretty loud.
Yeah, and I think it's just a habit, and I know a lot of people who have it. I'm curious whether that will make it worse.
I know.
Yeah.
Because when I was little, like my grandmother
You hear
would say,
that.
"Don't." Yeah, but I'm not sure if that really verifies or not. That is a good verify. We need to do that because my kid does it. Tyler does it all the time. I'm like, stop.
Yeah, I've never been really good at
Me either.
the
I can't
knuckle
get it to
cracking.
work.
One of our producers, he's like with his neck, he's just ripping his neck from side to side.
Sounds like he needs to go to the chiropractor.
Right. Tyler will spin his torso and crack his back. And it just sounds to me like that is a bad thing to do. Spin from the waist up, like really hard to go all the way around. And you hear it go.
I love going to a chiropractor though.
So do I.
I've never been.
I had a pinched nerve once a couple years ago, and so I had to go multiple times a week, but it relieved so much of the pain that I was having in my neck.
See, I'm afraid of it because of how I've heard they pretty rough
They
with
do,
you. I don't know
but
if
I was feeling great afterwards.
Really?
But as I said, there's several different forms of arthritis, and there's also support groups out there for those who might be struggling. We'll have those resources attached to this web story on our website. We'll be right back.
Before we go, Chad.
A little cramp.
Well, this week it is a busy one for the Winston-Salem Dash, and it all comes down to this dance between entertainment and sports. That's the way it is in minor league ball, though. But I spoke with Dash President Brian DeAngelis about that dance and the crazy week they have coming up. Everything from Star Wars Day, yes, that's a big one, and that one-day name change to the hyphens that we talked about. Plus, they even have Nurses Appreciation Day and fireworks. It just goes on, and it all goes in hand with about that level of baseball and what it's all about.
We really focus on some different pieces of our community or pieces of our culture or whatever's topical at the time, of course. And some of them, like Nurses Appreciation, we just want to give back and pay back. And that's where a lot of these jerseys come from as well, because we get to auction those off and support charities local to Winston-Salem here as well. So it's kind of just a full circle. Yes, it's going to be entertaining in between. The Dash are playing really well right now. And then we're also going to give back to the community. It's just a win-win for everybody.
Of course, all the activities draw crowds, but that Star Wars Day has grown every year. Of course, it's May the 4th be with you. And this year, it looks like a fantastic event.
This year, for the first time, we have a custom on-field jersey that we designed in partnership with Lucasfilms and Disney. That's going to be going up for auction. That's going to support some charities here locally. We're going to have some entertainers that come out that are actually dressed in full costume, the ones you'd see at Comic-Cons and things like that. And they'll actually be on-field pregame. You can go down there as a young Padawan and you can get some Jedi training and hopefully make it through to become a Jedi before the game even starts. So, we'll have the music and we'll have themed food items, all that kind of stuff that would go with a Star Wars night as well. But for me, I'm most excited about the pregame stuff.
Cool.
I hope they play the Empire theme song as the team is walking in. That would be awesome.
Are they going to hand out the little lightsabers
I don't
to the
know
crowd?
what they're going to do.
That is great when you go to
It
events that are Star Wars focused.
And I mean, just having those characters around, there's tons of selfie ops for that around there.
Absolutely.
And he said they're going to have themed food. I don't know what that is because he wouldn't give me the hint. He said he wants everybody to come out and check it out, but it's like Star Wars named foods.
The jersey that they're going to auction off, do they have sketches of that where we could see what it looks like?
I do. I think it's on their website.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's up yet, but that is what's the day? The 2nd, so that's the day after tomorrow. That's Friday.
Couple more
Thursday.
days. Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I would go just to see that because it's cool.
I got to be honest with you guys. I've never
I know.
seen a Star Wars movie in its entirety. Maybe clips.
I've seen only one.
I just never been into
happening
it.
right now?
And but I know people are fan faves. They dress up for Halloween, but I've never seen one straight through.
You've seen
The first Made, so I guess it would be number 3 in
Yes.
the
Number four.
But which one? The one from back in the day?
Yeah,
or
the
the
first
current
one made.
From 78
First
or
one
whatever,
made,
77.
Okay.
whenever that
Fortunately,
was.
Julie has a trilogy pack, and so she let me borrow it, but I only got through the
only
first
watched
one.
Maybe
one.
she'll let me borrow it too, so I can be a part of these
it
conversations
for
when
like
everyone
3
starts talking
years.
about
So Mike,
Star Wars.
So Tyler and I started watching them in order, not recently, because I haven't seen the most recent ones. I'll admit that, but anyway.
How's the weather looking for some baseball this week?
For some May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th.
May the 4th. Let's take a look at it, and we'll let you know. We'll tell you. It's actually, I think it's a perfect day on Thursday. In fact, that could actually be one of our better days for the next 7. We'll show you the 7-day forecast in a minute. Right now, 67 in the Triad, 70 in Raleigh, 73 in Fayetteville, and Wilmington's at 76 degrees. Myrtle Beach is 74. It's really comfortable coast side. Wind gusts, that's a problem, and it'll be like this again tomorrow, maybe even a little stronger, but kind of hovering where we are. The maximum wind gust since midnight for Greensboro is 32 miles per hour, Burlington 30, just made for kind of a blustery, windy day. 32 if you head up toward Reedsville, and then wind gusts go way up in the higher elevations, of course. Galax with almost a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust, and Boone with a 49-mile-per-hour wind gust since midnight last night. All right, forecast planner heading into tomorrow. It's cooler than today, low 60s. We're calling for 62 actually, and there's a chance, 10 to 20% chance of maybe a sprinkle as the front itself starts to move through. You notice even in the mountain communities now, we still see a little sprinkle. Had that yesterday about the same time, and with the proximity of that kind of disturbance to our north and that rotation around that, we are seeing a little wave of instability move by every now and again. But that front is why our winds will be so breezy tomorrow, and the chance of maybe a shower. This is at 6 a.m., so the front's trying to move through as we go through the day. Again, can't rule out a sprinkle, although I think it's gets more likely into the northern counties and maybe along the Virginia border and the higher elevations in the mountains. But it will be breezy all the way across the triad, really across the state for that matter. And as high pressure settles in as we head into Thursday, this is Thursday afternoon at about 4 p.m., things start to settle down. The high moves to the south. That means we warm up a smidge, and it ends up being a really good outlook. So 42 will be the low tonight, which means that'll be your morning temperature tomorrow. High tomorrow of 62, windy and cool with more sun in the first half of the day with clouds moving in later. Let's go partly cloudy Thursday and 69. That's a nice day. 72 for Friday, 20% chance of a shower probably Friday night. That translates into a 40% for Saturday with a cooler high of 65. Sunday, partly cloudy 70. Look at next week, Monday and Tuesday, 76 and 80 with partly cloudy skies.
Do you ever wonder whether your clothes have gone out of style? A new study is showing some pretty interesting things. 2,000 people were asked about future fashion trends. First, 35% think tie-dye is going to make a big comeback. A third said they want more shirt pockets. And a third think portrait photography is going to show up on more clothing. More than half also say your wardrobe is a way to showcase your personality. Now, when it comes down to it, fashion experts say don't overcomplicate your look. Too much going on can make an entire look fall apart. Stick to a maximum of 3 colors in an outfit. They also say keep things simple and find your style no matter what it is. If you want to branch out, add some bold colors and focus on one item of clothing at a time.
I'm gonna say I don't agree with some of that. I say set your own trend because I have 4 colors on and I think I look good.
Look at her. She's
there you go.
Promenading around. What I am having trouble with, I'm doing it, but it still goes against everything that I was taught growing up, is the pattern on pattern stuff that people do.
Oh, okay.
So I have suits, Chad doesn't have one on today, but like a pinstripe with a striped shirt of some sort.
Right.
That was a no-no my whole life. And then now I'm looking and a lot of guys are doing that.
And I think like the rule, at least that I've heard now, is you can have 2 patterns in a suit, but no more. So you could have a patterned shirt and a patterned coat, but not a pattern tie.
Okay, that
Because it would
makes
have
sense.
too much
It's
going
too
on.
much.
One of the things I like to do, I know I'm not wearing solids now, but wearing a solid, because you can dress it up and you can dress it down. Like if you have a blouse and some jeans, you know, you can go downtown, but say if I'm going to something more work related, I could put a nice necklace on it and dress it up a little bit.
I didn't start doing pocket squares until I stopped doing ties a whole lot. And because to me, that's a way I can still dress it up without having to be choked.
What did we call it yesterday? Casual chic?
Oh, wait, Brad.
yeah, casual
Brad
chic.
makes fun of my director, or director Brad makes fun of this one because he says it looks like a taco sticking out of my pocket.
And I said, how perfect, it's
Wow.
Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday. Unintentional, but I'll take it.
Right.
Always a good day for tacos. We're coming right back.
And so, oh, Kevin, you're supposed to, we got the microphone up, so you're supposed to explain what this is for the Facebook friends.
This is for all you people who are pre-LED, this is a light bulb.
There's a small filament in there.
What is that from?
There's a little filament in there. When you put electricity on it, when you put power
It
to it,
glows.
it glows.
Stop acting like you're old. Where was it
Older
from?
than you.
Are you?
No.
I didn't think so.
Where
Where,
tell everybody how old you are?
yeah, I put it all over
He's been
Facebook,
39
remember?
39 and a half times 2.
Yeah, that's true. So where's that from?
I don't know. It was on the floor back there. It's probably been back there for a couple of years.
Years?
Oh, you should let me show you one of the. Give me a second.
Okay, we have
Okay,
30
keep on
seconds. Next commercial break, folks. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for Light Bulb Lessons with Kevin. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric, Chad, and Lauren with you on this Tuesday. I keep thinking it's Wednesday because I work Sunday.
It
so
is,
My
yep.
mind is still thinking.
It's Taco Tuesday, not Wine Wednesday.
It is. Wine Wednesday.
That's all I got.
Y'all are so funny.
It's
So
every
how's the
day.
weather right now in this half hour?
We're about the same as last time. Nothing's really changed.
It looks about the same.
Last 30 minutes. Yeah, we could see a sprinkle or two tomorrow, which
Okay.
was not in the forecast yesterday. So things are changing a little bit, but it's only about a 10 to 20% chance tomorrow.
And it looks windy out.
Yeah, and the winds will be up, gusting to 30 possibly all day tomorrow. We think it'll die down by Thursday.
Alrighty. Well, we have some great news, some fun news. Some new pups have arrived in the Triad. These dogs were surrendered from commercial breeders to 3 organizations in North Carolina. They arrived today and will be sent to different rescue organizations to find their forever families, including the Forsyth Humane Society. They say they are very excited to help these dogs. If you are interested in learning more about the pups, you can contact the Humane Society in a few days after they settle in.
In less than 2 hours, Guilford County families can get help with the free application for federal student aid, or what's known as FAFSA. The Guilford County Parent Academy is partnering with the counseling department to offer a FAFSA hotline for Title I families. You can get help from high school counselors from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's to assist parents and caregivers start and finish this important step toward applying for college. To access the hotline when it opens, call 336-370-3270.
You have a chance to help families in need tonight, and all you have to do is go out for dinner. This is video from Stamey's Barbecue, one of the restaurants participating. Proceeds will go to Potter's House, a community kitchen that serves food every day. Greensboro Urban Ministry spoke with us about the importance of the annual event.
You know, the genesis really is that we have, hungry people in our community. And, it's pretty amazing. We've got over 75 restaurants that have joined us really in this effort to reduce hunger. And it really is a way to support the work we've been doing for a long time, our Potter's House Community Kitchen.
This does apply to certain restaurants. Not every business is participating. We have a full list on our website, WFNYnews2.com.
Tomorrow's the big day, our big shred event from 4 to 7 at the Greensboro Coliseum. It is free, but there is a strict limit of 3 bags or boxes. I will be out there and I will be counting, so no cheating, people. Old bank or medical statements, credit card bills or offers, it all needs to be shredded, not thrown out.
From poison control, stranger danger, safety, and railroad crossings to crosswalks, stop signs, and stoplights, there's a lot you can teach your kids about safety.
That's right, and that's where the Greensboro Police Department's Safety Town comes in. The tiny lifelike town teaches kids every component about safety. Firefighters and first responders teach about safety at home, at school, and outside. The program has actually been around for more than 45 years, so parents who've gone through Safety Town now get to send their own kids. What's new is an additional location.
In addition to the Country Park location, there's a new one at Barber Park. Greensboro police say there was demand for the program and they wanted to make it accessible to people on the other side of town. Officers say this program builds a great relationship with the kids and the community.
The kids this age, 5 and 6-year-old, are just little sponges. So they take everything in that we teach them and they pass it along to their parents. So I'm constantly meeting parents that say, oh, my kids, every time the light turns yellow, they tell me to slow down. Every time I pick up my phone to text, they tell me to put the phone down. So the kids are learning so much and actually teaching the parents.
Such a great program. The camp is 2 hours a day for 2 weeks in the summer. It costs $40 a child. Registration is open for several sessions. Spots are filled on a first-come, first-served basis. They are also looking for volunteers. So just go to the story about Safety Town and WFNY News 2 and click this link, which will take you there.
That is a great program, by the way. All my kids did that. If you are thinking about it, I will give you a thumbs up on that. It is phenomenal. All right, so we take a look at our sky cam today, and it's hard to even tell that anything's moving. Yep, there go a couple of clouds, and then by the end of the day, or at least toward midday, we started seeing a couple of clouds here and there building as we head into the afternoon and evening. Now, the possibility of a sprinkle, maybe a light shower, it's only about a 20% for Wednesday morning, 10 to 20%. So we'll watch for that as we head throughout the day Wednesday, but otherwise, our temperatures are cooperating. It's going to be a little bit cooler, we think, tomorrow, but then Thursday, but beautiful weather nonetheless for the next couple of days leading up to a Saturday rain event, which could come in as early as Friday night, by the way. 67 in the Triad, 68 in Charlotte, Wilmington 76, Myrtle Beach 74. It's comfortable. Winds are a problem. They continue upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour for wind gusts, not sustained winds, but gusts. We had a 32-mile-an-hour wind gust in Greensboro since midnight last night. Same story for Reedsville, but Wilkesboro with a 35-mile-an-hour wind gust and almost a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust for Boone. To the south, we see Albemarle with about a 28-mile-per-hour wind gust. For tomorrow, we talked about that morning, or that little chance of a sprinkle or two by midday, I should say. I keep saying morning. This is happening in the afternoon. The high tomorrow is 62, but those wind gusts will be upwards of 30 miles per hour again for your Wednesday. So temperatures 62 tomorrow, going up to 69, rain free on Thursday. Friday, that 20% is probably late, so let's go with 72 during the day, still a good day. 65 with a little rain on Saturday, that is a 40% chance. Sunday, partly cloudy and 70, and next week getting warm, 76 and 80 for Monday and Tuesday.
A local high school softball team is on a 22-game winning streak. McMichael is also ranked #1 in the state. The team is full of experience with 8 seniors on the 15-player roster. Photojournalist Brian Hall met up with the young women, hoping to bring home a state title.
We don't let our record get to us. We're excited that we are undefeated so far, but we know we always need to show up to play. No, you have no idea what another team can show up, and they may play better than us, but we do our best.
The key is the word team. We don't count on one or two players. We can hurt you all the way through the lineup, and I've been saying that all along. And you know, even if the ones in the middle aren't doing it that game, somebody's going to pick us up.
Well, with 8 seniors this year, we've all grown up together and played really well. I take pride in this team because I just know that we can succeed no matter what comes our way. I know that if we get in a hole, we can go into the playoffs soon, and I know if we get in a hole that we'll be able to succeed.
These kids are friends on and off the field. They've been playing together forever, and you know, it makes it special. It builds a bond and makes you a stronger team in general. It's becoming really hard on me getting to the end of this run with this seniors, because I've known them their whole lives. But it makes everything a little bit sweeter, and you go through everything together. No, I'm not worried about them being too overconfident. They are having fun, and I've always preached to them that if you hustle and you have fun, the rest of the game takes care of itself.
They all love the game. They do their all, I do my all, and we're a good team together. We know where we're at right now, and we know we still have stuff to work on, but we can only go up from here.
Great job, ladies. McMichael will take the field again this week in the conference tournament action. Their quest for a state softball championship begins when the playoffs get underway next Tuesday. 22-game winning streak.
That's crazy.
That is amazing.
And props to the sports department for doing this story, because I feel that softball is often overshadowed by baseball, and so this is a really great opportunity to highlight a team that's doing really, really well.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that's no joke. I mean, 22-0, I don't care what sport it is, what level you're on, the odds of you winning all those games. Plus now it's hard for them to mentally go, okay, that's over. Now the playoffs, it's one game at a time, you know, so good for them.
We report on a lot of teams that do pretty well, whether it be baseball, softball, basketball, but for these ladies to have such a close bond, as the coach was saying, a lot of them have known each other since they were young. It just goes to show how that bond really has an impact on the performance as well in the game.
It does. If you know each other and how they play, how you play, you get a leg up on other people.
And if you're a softball player coming up, you see this happening,
Yes.
and you want to play for them.
I was going to say the same thing because they have 8 seniors on that roster, so they could be up
Lots
next.
of room. Yeah.
You got cap space now.
Yeah,
You got to
that's
get
right.
some more people in there. All right, Carolina's new QB has an official number. Bryce Young will now wear number 9. He wore the number at Alabama, where he won the Heisman Trophy and finished second in school history in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Current QB Matt Corral was number 9, but he'll now be number 2. He actually requested the change prior to this year's draft. He wore number 2 at Ole Miss and in high school. You can now order Young jerseys online at the Panthers team store. We'll be right back. Microphones are back up, and we have upgraded to a much bigger light bulb.
That's really cool looking. I've never seen one like it.
Okay, yep. So Kevin, explain these two here.
This one's probably from the 60s or 70s. That is left over in the back. Unless
Really?
Brad knows where it goes. That's one of the Weather Garden light bulbs.
Oh, he said you're not supposed to be touching it like that.
Oh my goodness. It was so
And then what
It's
is this
blown.
one? What is
It's
this one?
blown. That's one of the Weather Garden light bulbs.
Wow. And so that's a current
Is this
Weather
the big
Garden
one?
light bulb.
Yeah, it's blown, but that's one of the ones that's in the Weather
Look how
Garden.
big that, that's hilarious.
Wow.
Imagine putting that in the bathroom when you turn it on at night.
I can't see. Not too much light.
Wow. And so explain that little one that you were showing before.
Oh, the little one is like one of the old stage lights that was in here. It
This
just
is?
blown, it was sitting on the back. No, that one I have no idea where that one came from. That's an old one.
That is really old. Really old.
Brad, are you able to show the current lighting that we have compared to that? Like, could you get camera 2?
Well, I bet he couldn't go into the light. Would it be?
Oh, the hood on that camera. The God Cam probably would be able to. We call it the God Cam, folks, because it's a camera that's up in the clouds. Okay, so and so that is our current lighting. It's more LED, right?
It's all LED.
It's all LED compared to these huge light bulbs.
So these are pressure. I feel like anybody like 40 and up knows this probably, but these are pressurized too. So if you drop them, they explode. They don't just crack.
Prove it.
We used to do that when I was a kid in
Kevin,
dumpsters.
quickly, how often would you have had to replace these?
These?
Yeah.
Probably every 2 weeks.
And then
3
how
weeks.
often do you have to replace the LEDs we have now?
Most people
2 lifetimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't normally. They either work
That's
or they
wild.
don't work.
They work or they don't.
Yep.
The more you know. Now you have that, the shooting star rainbow across the sky. The more you know. Remember that?
In Florida, people are having to be extra careful today.
And this is a very unusual story that you don't hear about every day.
This morning, a semi-truck was involved in an accident and released unexpected guests on commuters. Florida Highway Patrol said the truck was carrying at least 1 million bees, which were no longer in the truck.
Yeah, people can be assured that they are safe on the way to work. The bees are in the trap. Beekeepers were in the area to help Florida Highway Patrol round up the escaped passengers and save the day. No one was hurt in the crash.
All I can say is nope, nope,
Yeah.
nope, nope, nope.
That would
I
scare
do
me.
not like bees. Could you imagine just being on the interstate, say your windows were down and some of
million
those got
bees.
into your car?
Ugh.
I would have acted a fool.
Have you seen those people that can scoop them up with their hands? I will never understand.
Yeah, I've seen
beekeepers,
videos
yes.
on TikTok of that
That
woman that
lady
you
that-
showed me
yes.
that she just,
But how do you do that without getting stung? I don't
I
get
don't
it.
know.
Or it's to the point where they've been stung so many times that even just like one sting from that, they probably just don't even react
I freak
anymore.
out when wasps come around.
Oh, me too.
I can handle honeybees, not wasps.
Would you say that wasps or mosquitoes are like the most useless pests?
I'm sure they provide
purpose,
something
yes.
to nature in some way. I just don't want them touching me, but they can do what they need to do away from me.
Like a mosquito, what is their purpose?
To be eaten by frogs. That's. I mean, honestly, I think it's just part of the
Yeah,
food cycle.
it's the circle
Yeah.
of life. Everything's connected in
gonna
one
sing
way
it
or
now?
another. The circle of life.
They carry diseases.
Y'all
That's
know
why I
I'm
don't
always
like
trying to get a record
mosquitoes.
deal on this show.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I just hate mosquito bites.
I do too.
Me too. And especially my sister, she's always been one that we used to say she has sweet blood like Kool-Aid because whenever we would go down south to South Carolina to visit my grandparents, she would just get eaten up. But I would get like 1 or 2, she would get eaten alive.
See, this is another verified. Do certain blood
Blood type,
types
now that I've
or
heard is
something
true.
Maybe.
Attract mosquitoes more? I'm gonna get Mega Malaris on the horn,
know,
and
we
we're
gotta
gonna.
get
I'm
going.
gonna send her a list of good verified
We got
ideas.
ideas here. We're idea people. We'll be right back.
Reducing stress, improving your focus, and learning to think outside of the box are just a few of the benefits of taking an art class. If you want to try it out, there's a new resource in the Triad. WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe checked out the community art classes at TAG in High Point.
Hey, we are here at the Art Gallery at Congdon Yard. TAG is what it's called with Michaela. We're going to make some paper today. So how do we turn all of this junk mail into something beautiful?
So you're just going to take whatever you have lying around the house, rip it up. We've got some tissue paper, we've got some magazine pages, we've got some book paper. So we're just going to throw it into the blender.
Just like straight up in there?
Straight up in there.
And you mixed it with some water?
Yes.
That's it?
So we do about 1 part paper to about 3 parts water, and then we're just going to blend it up. So we're going to chop it up a little bit first, like you're chopping up some ice, and then we're going to puree it.
Ah, it's like we're making a frozen margarita.
Absolutely.
And so it's not just paper making that you guys offer. You have acrylics, live drawing, pottery, all kinds of stuff.
Watercolor, collage, summer camps. So we do a little bit of everything here.
That's all coming up within the next month here at TAG.
Yeah.
So next we're pouring it into this thing. It kind of looks like a window screen to me.
It is. So you could actually make this at home. You do not have to go out and buy anything fancy. So you can just pour it into a window screen in a frame.
And then you just kind of sift it out of here like you're panning for gold.
Exactly. And look at the beautiful gold you got.
It's already coming out so pretty. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is dry it off. So you put this drying mat on there,
Exactly.
right?
And then you're going to put it on the towel. Yep, we'll get rid of that. And now we're going to sponge it.
And then you just kind of soak all that water up. So you guys offer these classes as cheap as possible because you're a nonprofit, but to do that, you need some donations.
Absolutely. And we have a raffle going on right now with Beth Murray. She has a beautiful abstract painting or landscape painting that you could get raffle tickets for. They're $15, or you could get 10 tickets for $100, and that helps our classes.
How do you do that?
Go online to tagart.org and you can buy those raffle tickets there. You do not have to be present to win.
Okay, so this paper is going to take a while to dry, but we already made some earlier. Check it out. I think this one's the prettiest by far.
I love that one too.
So if you're interested in taking some of the classes, again, it's not just paper making here. They also have classes that teach you what to do with this.
Yep.
Collage,
and exhibits. We
all
have
that
exhibits going on as well. So next month we've got an exhibit coming up from some textile artists, fiber artists from Asheville, as well as some middle school exhibit from Guilford County Schools.
If you're interested in any of this, the best thing to do is to just Google TAG High Point, and you'll get all that information right there.
Cool.
Yeah, that one on the far right looked like cheese grits to me and Chad. All right, so I asked you on Facebook, what craft or hobby would you like to dabble in? Here's what you had to say. Barbara said stained glass. It is so beautiful. I would agree with that. That's probably difficult to do. Shannon says, I've actually always wanted to learn to quilt, so I started learning 2 years ago and have made a few. Not as extravagant as some people, but I'm very proud and it's fun and relaxing to me. Lisa said scuba diving. I love visiting the aquariums and think it would be amazing to see all the creatures, different sea creatures up close. Kathy says sewing. I flunked it in high school. And then Ben Briscoe chimed in. He goes welding because of flash dance, obviously. That's a hobby.
Funny.
Or a craft.
Funny.
I don't know what mine, I don't know what that would be. If there's some sort of, there's not something that I've thought of, well, that's not true. Oil painting. I've always wanted to try to paint with
You did
with
mention
oil.
that
Yeah,
before.
I've begged my wife for a set and she won't do it.
I've got a couple things. I would love to get into candle making because I love candles. There are classes offered in the Triad, but I didn't know you had to schedule ahead of time. So a few months ago, I did try to
Did you roll up?
Roll up, and all these people were looking at me at this table. They were like, you have to schedule online. But I would love to get into that. Or even making soap. I have a line sister that actually started her own soap making company. And I'm like, these look beautiful and they smell great too.
I think I would want to do something where I use other things to make something else like artwork-ish. So like a wine cork, like wine corks or like bottle caps. Yeah, like using that to create some sort of design. I don't know. I don't even know what category to put that in.
Have you been to the, well, you've been to the Greensboro Science Center. There's a seahorse in there that's made out of bottle caps.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
Yeah. It is beautiful.
That's cool. Could do that.
Yeah.
Get on that, Chad. Get your bottle cap collection.
Add it to
going.
my list. Right after watching all the Star Wars.
His list of, that's right. You can do it while you watch.
That might
Star
take
Wars.
him a while.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about our forecast. We've got some good stuff in the short term. A little bit of rain for your Saturday. And we were joking the other day in the newsroom. It seems like it only rains on our weekends. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, we do have a chance for Saturday. And that's about it, though, in the 7-day as far as significant rain. Maybe a sprinkle tomorrow in the afternoon hours. That's a 10 to 20% chance. Not great. But Saturday does look like the best chance. It's 67 in Greensboro right now. High point 66. Asheboro, you're at 69 degrees. And 68 in Troy, Burlington 69, along with Yanceyville. Wind gusts, yeah, we're going to see this again tomorrow. This is what we've seen since midnight tonight. Usually around 25 to 32 mile per hour wind gusts in the middle of the triad. But if you go up to the mountains, they're seeing upwards almost 50 mile an hour wind gusts in Boone since midnight last night. Tonight, the low 42. We'll see mostly clear skies. Again, a little chance of a sprinkle maybe tomorrow, but we're not holding our breath on that one. 62 for the high temperature tomorrow, so a little bit cooler. We do have some sprinkles down in Iredell County towards Salisbury and a little bit in Davidson County, but most of that is going to stay away from most of the triad. Maybe the southern parts of the triad gets a little taste of that, but that'll be about it. All that energy staying to the north there. High pressure and low pressure now between these two, all that wind funnels in right over us, and then you add this cold front to it. That's why we have a 20% in our forecast for tomorrow, but it will be breezy through your Wednesday, should be calming down by Thursday. 62 tomorrow with that 20% chance. Thursday, it is partly cloudy and 69. Friday, scattered clouds and 72. That 20%, I think, is more of a second half of the day into the night situation, and then it increases to a 40% for Saturday with a high of 65. Next week's looking good. Sunday, partly cloudy 70. How about 76 and 80 for Monday, Tuesday with scattered clouds?
Bad splatter? I don't know. Because there's a splatter paint place in that.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hi there. 1, 2, 3.
Check 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Mic check, mic check.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Happy to be with y'all today.
Milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
Hello, hi, how are you? Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, it's time for my 2 cents. And today, I'm going to talk about what do we search for. I was doing some Google searches recently and it made me think, I wonder what people search for in general. What are the top topics? So I went to Google Trends, and here's what I found out. For time purposes, I couldn't name all of them because there are a lot. But in day parts, here's what the human race is searching for globally in day parts. So in the morning, and some of this makes sense, yoga, French toast, horoscope, lottery, meditation, prayer, the Bible, blood sugar, and coffee. That's what we're searching for in the morning. In afternoon, strange here, taxes and tacos, not necessarily together, but noodles, water park, vacation rental, I guess by afternoon we're thinking about time off, a dog park, takeout food, and soup. See, now we're starting to transition into soup and food. By evening, it is pizza, sushi, falafel, exercise, because you got to make up for all the other stuff I just named, hotel, concert, making evening plans, and child. I'm assuming that would be like child care, maybe for your hotel and your concert. I don't know. That's in the evening. Now at nighttime, so late at night, here you go. Sadness, it's kind of sad, isn't it? Music, back pain, diarrhea, and constipation. Those are what we search for at night. Diarrhea, constipation, pick a path, one or the other. So there you go. I'm not sure what that says about the human race, but that's exactly what we're searching for, not just in the United States, globally in those day parts. Go back, listen to this again. It might say something about what our society as a whole, over the whole globe, thinks day in and day out. I'm not sure if it's good or bad. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
The case of an escaped inmate accused of murdering a North Carolina deputy now has a triad connection. Investigators say the suspect's sister helped him escape last weekend. She was in the Guilford County Jail and now she is in federal custody.